Well, the first of the Modern Warfare 3 trailers is now officially out. Honestly, I really thought that what we'd have today is much smaller in scale, like just simply Makarov stepping into the light, but we got much more than that. Today we're running down the new trailer for you and everything you need to know, as well as a few first glimpses at gameplay of Modern Warfare 3. As we go along, drop your thoughts down below. What stands out to you of all of this? Honestly, I'm always interested in where the story goes and have enjoyed the last two campaigns out of the rebooted trilogy, so now curious to see where this one will go. If you enjoyed the video, you find it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare 3 as we gear up for the reveal here upcoming and everything that's going to be happening beyond that. I'd love to have you in the community, but for now, let's jump into it. First and foremost, if you haven't seen the trailer just yet, here it is.
The danger we face is clear and present.
You could be sitting, taking lunch. We'll hit you like a punch.
This is not a threat, not an if, but when.
Tomorrow never comes until it's too late.
A force of evil who seeks to tear the world apart, piece by piece.
We're whistling overhead.
To him, every ally is a weapon, every bystander a shield.
The shaking of the ground. A billion candles burn around.
We don't know his next target, but we know ours. Makarov.
So much more than I anticipated, probably you as well, but as mentioned before, this is very much so a narrative trailer, something showcasing a bit of what to expect with the story, and to formally introduce the most iconic villain of the Modern Warfare universe, now finally in the rebooted trilogy. Name dropped at the end of the second outing, but now we finally see a bit of Makarov himself. Now, Price's voice lines indicate a little bit of, again, just a little bit of gravity behind everything. The danger we face is present and clear. This is not a threat, not an if, but when. A force of evil that seeks to tear the world apart piece by piece. To him, every ally is a weapon, every bystander a shield. We don't know his next target, but we know ours. Makarov. So right from the beginning here, I do love the utilization of Price as the focal point once again. Nothing against Ghost and what we saw with his focal point in Modern Warfare 2, but this absolutely, in my mind, sets up the one-on-one tension of Price versus Makarov that we saw in the original trilogy. I'm just kind of wondering if they settle this in a singular campaign, giving Makarov 2 games as a villain in the original trilogy, I think kind of made him larger than your standard bad guy, at least in my opinion, but that's just getting ahead of ourselves. Talking about a Modern Warfare 4, who knows if that'll ever even happen, but Modern Warfare 3 absolutely is going to be, narratively at least, I'm excited for. Gameplay, multiplayer oriented, not sure, obviously we'll see when that actually is revealed, but honestly, I have not disliked a Modern Warfare campaign yet, and honestly, looking forward to seeing what 3 can bring. Fingers crossed they can cap off this trilogy here with it, but Makarov as a bad guy, looking forward to that one. Now, the gameplay sequences, that's something that I was not expecting to see here within this trailer at all. Now, there's not a whole ton of them, but there was about 20 seconds of gameplay from what is presumably the campaign that was shown off ahead of the reveal trailer that's going to be releasing next week. I wouldn't be surprised if these sequences are taken directly from that reveal trailer, about 20 seconds of probably like a 2-minute trailer or something like that that we see at the end of the Warzone reveal event, but this includes 4 separate segments here of gameplay showcase. The first of which includes what looks to be maybe Task Force 141 taking out the ice underneath a convoy of cars with an underwater explosion sequence, reminding me a lot like the sequence from COD Ghosts, admittedly off first glance, but then a takedown underwater, and that kind of wraps that one up. The next sequence that we see is similar to the entrance of the Darkwater mission, in my opinion, from Modern Warfare 2, taking the Ascender at what looks to be a castle wall, but honestly kind of reminds me of a gulag. But a masked operator peeks through the pillars to pull a gun on who, very honestly, I do think looks like Farah. That could be wrong, but to me, that's what I saw on first glance, and it feels like this may be some deceptive perspective for trailer purposes, but if they kill off anyone from 141, I mean, I'm very surprised that we've not seen any deaths in the squad through 2 games. Maybe the third is when they start dropping, but like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that one. But the next sequence is the one that honestly I'm sure a lot of eyes will be on. It is the perspective of someone, maybe a bystander, maybe someone of importance to the storyline, but they're in the Verdansk Stadium as seen by the football or soccer logo on the walls of that sort of corridor that we know all the concessions and everything were on. My only thought here is to, of course, temper your expectations, because the blurring effect that is used here in this sequence, that's commonly used in the COD space as a means to portray a flashback. So I'm expecting to see some bit of Verdansk, but I wouldn't take this as a sign just yet that Verdansk is going to be coming back to Warzone or anything like that just yet. Would I be down for it? Sure. But temper your expectations, because that's not exactly what I think this will mean. I think it will have some prior setup for the storyline that we see in Modern Warfare 3, but I don't think that's anything that we're like returning to Verdansk or anything like that. Wouldn't expect that just yet. And finally, the last sequence comes from what appears to be a downed commercial airline jet being secured by operators and throwing corpses into a fire. Now this, if I'm taking a guess, this is the aftermath of the no Russian sequence from the mid-credit scene in the campaign of Modern Warfare 2. I would not be surprised again if this is going to be something that is present as a reference in that cutscene in Modern Warfare 2 is all we see, because I don't know how much they're really going to be willing to risk making that a playable aspect like we had in Modern Warfare 2 back in 2009. I mean, that stirred up major trouble in the media back then. I can't even imagine the outrage that you'd have if that was replicated today. So I feel like we'll know what's happening, but never interact with it or see it beyond this sequence taking place after the events of that cutscene. So it is something that looks to be, in my mind, what that ties into, but we'll see in time as that all plays out. Also, I can't help but think of the resemblance in my head from throwing of the bodies and loose ends from the original Modern Warfare 2 with this sequence, kind of tying in the nostalgia a little bit, even though it's like bad nostalgia. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, you remember that moment, obviously, but it's not something that you love. But anyways, that is the gameplay sequences that we had here with this. Honestly, more than I thought. Again, I thought this entire trailer would have just been like 10 to 15 seconds of like a little build-up music and then Makarov stepping into the light from his cell. Instead, they utilized this as a way for allowing him to get a new tattoo, going in and punching in on his tattoos currently, allowing those tattoos to symbolize certain sequences and attacks, perhaps, that he's been a part of in the Modern Warfare universe leading up until this point, and seeing where we go from here next. So honestly, pretty cool symbology with this trailer, and I'm happy we got more than I expected. But anyways, that is the trailer that we learned about here today, and everything you can take away from it, including some glimpses of gameplay from the presumably campaign for Modern Warfare 3. So that is what we're going to call it. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of this trailer here so far? Are you liking it? Are you excited to see Makarov as the big baddie returning? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, you find it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to stay there with all things Modern Warfare 3, especially as we gear up for this reveal, man. We're getting really close and the floodgates seemingly are going to open. Love it or hate it, that's up to you, but we're going in and giving you all the information that we possibly can, so I'd love to have you in the community if you'd like to join. But that said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.